Arsenal fans don't realise what's happening. And if this works, it genuinely changes everything. Arsenal fans at times can be accused of looking too far forward, looking for the next best thing. But what about if that next best thing is already here, right in front of our eyes? I think this has the ability to transform this entire team into something totally unrecognisable, and that's already coming from a position of strength. I want to start with Max Dowman because he continues to blow me away, and I would love to ask you a question very quickly. How many starts do you realistically think Max Dowman will get for Arsenal this season? I know you guys are so impressed with Max Dowman because we've had conversations about him. We spoke about him last season, and it's important to say, let's not get carried away with Max Dowman. Let's not build him up and allow the media to build him up, because we know inevitably they will try and tear him down at some point. But how can you not look at Max Dowman and think, oh my god, this guy is just different to anything I've ever seen in terms of the age profile, in terms of the ability? Like, something very simple Max Dowman does, but his close control, his ability to just move the ball enough out of the player's sight to where they think they're going to get it and all of a sudden the ball's gone. It's such an easy attribute to look at and say that's brilliant. But it is just, Max Dowman has perfected it at, 16 years old? And I look at him and I'm like, right, let's not get carried away. But what could this guy do? Like, I think there's a real possibility. I've spoken and I've wrestled with myself at times about Ethan Nwaneri and Max Dowman. I don't know which one's going to get pushed forward this season, but I've always thought it's only going to be one. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they both get an opportunity. But watching Max Dowman, and every time I see him, it seems like he's the best player on the pitch. And at times, I'm not even judging him by, right, what's this guy like as a kid? As a kid, he's good. But just as a football player, strip the age away. Just look at what he's able to produce on a football pitch. He's still our best player on the pitch. Like, Arsenal's two best players on the pitch yesterday for me were Max Dowman and Christos Solis. Let me know your thoughts on both of their performances, because I'm so excited about both of these guys. Solis even, I looked what he done and I really liked what he offered on the left wing. Now, it's important to distinguish the difference between Girona and what's coming in the Premier League. Tougher tests are further forward for Arsenal. For sure, it's going to be more difficult, but just looking at the qualities of what this guy has, and I like what Solis offers, I like what Max Dowman offers. I was not concerned, but I had a slight worry in the back of my head for the start of the season, because you look at the games we've got coming up. You've got Coventry on the first game of the season, but before that, you've got the Community Shield against Man City, a game that I actually want to go out there and win and make a statement. Many people are saying, let's throw the Community Shield. I don't agree with that, because I think it's a real opportunity to, I don't know, stamp your authority on the season and get things rolling, gain some momentum early. Max Dowman, though, let's just focus on Max Dowman, because the assist, I mean, Lewis Skelly we're going to speak about in a minute, because I think people are being very harsh on Lewis Skelly. I actually liked what I saw, but Lewis Skelly to Max Dowman, and that assist for Kai Havertz was something we've been waiting for, especially toward the back end of the season. We was like, why have we not got this creative player who's able to occupy that kind of right half space? And it's just, the ball he played was just weighted perfectly. He's so intelligent. That's why I like Max Dowman. He's always looking forward. He's not looking to go back. And look, people have accused Martin Odegaard saying he's negative, he always goes backward. And I've said I think that's harsh. Martin Odegaard is our best creative player, most creative player. But I look at what Max Dowman done and I thought, oh, if this guy continues to do this, because he has got this almost, it's like he's not shy to show what he can do at such a young age. And it's just this confidence, this young hunger to prove himself. Like, he doesn't care if he's playing against older guys. He don't care the ability or who he's playing against. It's just like, just give me the ball. I just want to play football. He's a kid who just wants to play football, and that shows by the way he plays. His turning on the half turn is just, oh my god. And again, there's so many superlatives to speak this guy. I think he's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And again, people say to me, don't get carried away, don't build him up. But you look at him and it's like, how can you not? And I will always back this player. I don't care if he goes through a downturn in form. It's inevitable. He's 16 years old. But looking at the performances against professional men, and I'm like, you have a role to play in this team this season. I don't know yet what that role is. And just when he scored that goal, I'm like, we've seen that so much. Look, Nwaneri can do that as well. Max Dowman can do it. Bukayo Saka can do it. Can Madueke do that from the right-hand side? I'm not sure. And again, I don't want to build Max Dowman up and put Madueke down, but I have Max Dowman ahead of Madueke in the pecking order. And again, people could say that's crazy. He's only 16. You need to be careful with him. That's the way I'm looking at it right now. Absolutely unbelievable. Lewis Skelly, let's speak about him, because I thought he was alright. Someone made a good comparison, and it's not completely similar, but someone said he reminds me a bit of Thomas Partey, and I'm like, I know what you mean. Now, defensively and in terms of physicality, size and stature, slightly different, but the way he turns on the ball, I actually agreed with that comparison, and people have been too harsh on Lewis Skelly. I think he done one thing in that game that I don't like at all, and I've seen it with another player, Gabriel. It's this going down looking to buy fouls, because if it works, great, you get yourself out of trouble, but if it doesn't, you just look like a wally, because you're laying on the floor in the box when you're not really injured. The other team score and it's like, well, you literally were standing on that guy. He gave you a bit of a whack, and could it have been a penalty? Maybe. But I don't like it when players in those kind of situations are trying to buy fouls. Gabriel does it very well, but when he's the last man, as soon as he feels contact, he goes down. But it's only a matter of time until he gets caught out doing that. Luckily, Gabriel's been lucky. He has been caught out once last season, but on the whole, I've always said I don't like it when players do that, when they're meant to be like a defender or a physical defensive midfielder, and as soon as they get touched, they go down looking for a foul. Maybe I'm slightly old school in that thinking, but I didn't like when I saw two Arsenal players on the floor holding their head and Girona just score an easy corner. Yeah, to me that was frustrating. But in terms of the performance, Lewis Skelly, his pass selection was very good. Again, people are saying, oh, look, this proves Lewis Skelly doesn't have a future at this club. And I'm like, clicking on their profile, they're Arsenal fans. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Lewis Skelly in that game was quite good. I read a couple of articles online as well, and I kind of looked for some player ratings to gauge how people are seeing it, because I have my opinion. I always write down my opinion first, so I'm not influenced, but I read some of these articles, and it's like, Lewis Skelly didn't do anything special, and I'm like, it's obviously not an agenda, but it's like, maybe I'm just seeing things differently, but I didn't mind the performance from Lewis Skelly. Gabriel Jesus scored. That's good. Could Gabriel Jesus play a role this season? I guess you can't rule it out, but at the same time, I looked at it and I was like, that's a good way to put yourself in the shop window. Gabriel Jesus is a great player, by the way, and if he can stay fit, he could help Arsenal, but you can't rely on it. And where Arsenal are now, we are so close to being the best team in the world. I just want players that you can rely on. Gabriel Jesus, if I could guarantee for the entire season that he would be fit, then keep him. But you can't. And every season he's been here, he's had injury problems. So you could probably, it's fair to assume, there's a long enough period that we've looked at and seen injury. It's a fair guess to assume he's going to be injured this season for that seat. So for that reason, thank you for your services. Let's move you on and bring someone in more readily available. Meslier in goal. A signing that split opinion. Look, I was of the opinion, good shot stopper, can be great in moments, but he is dodgy, and if the plan is for him to be Arsenal's second choice keeper, I was slightly concerned that at some point those mistakes would rear their ugly head. But Meslier proved yesterday exactly what I knew about him. He's a great shot stopper, and if he can eradicate those mistakes from his game, he can be a great player, Meslier, and he showed yesterday. He could be Arsenal's second choice. I'm not getting carried away off of one pre-season game, but if you have that version of Meslier without the mistakes, fine. If Kepa leaves, then I wouldn't be worried. My opinion right now is still Kepa's a better second choice goalkeeper. Meslier is a good third, but we don't know what's going to happen with Kepa. I thought if someone was going to pull the trigger on Kepa, it would have happened by now, but you have to be fair and say the World Cup hasn't long finished. People have been waiting for after that to conduct most of their business, and maybe an offer of 5 million will come in for Kepa, and then Arsenal have to sell him because it's in the contract. We're going to have to wait and see, but Meslier, on the whole, I thought covered himself in glory. Bruno's expected to be an Arsenal player shortly. That's what Fabrizio Romano is coming out and saying, and you know, when someone like Fabrizio Romano or David Ornstein speaks, it's usually fair to assume it's going to happen, and Bruno is going to improve this Arsenal team, and it's Mikel Arteta's choice now to decide how he gets all these players in, because when Lewis Skelly's on form, he's brilliant. Obviously when Declan Rice is on form, he's brilliant. When Zubamendi's on form, he's brilliant. Martin Odegaard, Mikel Merino, Eberici, Eze, Ethan Nwaneri, Max Dowman if he wants to play him centrally. So many good options, but you need to have strength and depth, and people might say that's slightly overkill, the amount of good players you have in those central